Hello, everyone. I am so happy to be here with you tonight. I feel like it's been forever since I've been live. I've been, excuse me, in Hawaii for the last 3 weeks. I know. Don't feel sorry for me. I had an amazing time, but I did miss all of you. I am April Davis with April Davis Creations, and tonight is my Thursday night live to-go class. So excited to be here to share some of the new products that we have. I'm going to cough, hold on. Excuse me. Some of the new products that we have that came out the 1st of January. I can't believe this is February the 6th already. That's what happens when you take a 3-week vacation. But I'm back so that I can play with them because they came out and then I left. So I didn't get a lot of time to play. Tonight, we're going to be focused on the celebration flyer. If you're not familiar with what celebration is, I'll go ahead and bring this in for just a second, and then I will, let me see if I can do this. We'll just go back and forth is what we'll do. But I wanted to bring the flyer in. The flyer goes through February the 28th, and if you're not familiar with celebration, basically it's a large sale that Stampin' Up has at the beginning of the year, and when you place a qualifying order in this catalog, it's $60 or $120. It makes a difference as to what you do, as to what you get to pick, but you can pick anything for free out of the flyer, which is really a lot of fun. And tonight we're actually going to be focusing on this Friendly Seagulls stamp set. I've been having so much fun with this stamp set, and I can't wait to share with you some of the cards that I've got for it. But what's really fun, and I'm going to just kind of stroll through really quickly because there's pages and pages of things that you can get for free when you place a qualifying order. And we also have a kit special if you're interested in joining Stampin' Up and you're interested in whether it's a hobbyist or you want to build a business or you just want to get some of the free product that they're offering. You can get for $99, $125 worth of product of your choice. Plus you get to select 2 of the marker sets. There's 10 markers in each set, and they are the brights, the neutrals, the regals, or the settles. You get to pick 2 of those. Plus you get a stamp set. And if you're not interested in doing that, you can select an additional $30 in free product. So that's $155 worth of product for $99. And I would love to have you as part of my Stampin' Up team. So if you're interested, drop me a note and I'm happy to share more information with you. But back to celebration, what I wanted to share with you about this, and I'm going to switch to a different screen now, is this week Stampin' Up came out with even more products to select from when you place a qualifying order. So I tried to blow this up so that you can see, but there's a number of different stamp sets. This is a die set. It's all the alphabet. Great for cards, but if you're a scrapbooker, this is great for creating your own alphabet for your scrapbook pages. So you can get that for free. We also have the Trusty Tools dies. In the regular catalog, the main catalog, you can actually get the stamp set to go with that, but the dies are free. We have a bee builder punch, some label punches. We have another kit. There's a kit in the celebration flyer, but now there's another kit with the happy houseplants for free. And then, and another kit, the honeycomb kit, hooray for honeycomb. We've got some ribbon, and then we've got some brushed brass butterflies for free. And then I believe there might have been something at the $120 level as well. But a lot of things now for free that you can choose with a qualifying order. And just as a reminder, this celebration flyer does end on February 28th. So the clock is ticking. All right, let me share with you. I'm going to bring this back up again. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you to my website. Excuse me. And basically, I wanted to share with you that this obviously is a to-go class. So that means I'm going to show you 3 cards that we're going to create tonight. If you like those cards and you want to get the kit to go for free, all you have to do is place an order in my online store. All the information is out at aprildaviscreations.com. Go under classes and clubs, to go classes, and then it will explain to you what you need to do, placing a minimum order of $45 before tax and shipping between now and February the 9th using the host code. And I've also got the host code up here as well, I think. Oh, you can see it. It's in white. But use that host code, and that host code will then be a signal to me that you are interested in the kit to go. I will get your order, notification of your order, and then I will ship the kit on or around February the 10th. So we've got that going on right now as well. All right, let me bring you back to my desktop. And let me see if I can do this. I want to take myself down because I want to be able to show you the cards that we're making tonight, how fun they are. And then we can start creating. So again, we're doing friendly seagulls. Look at how cute these guys are. I love when I'm at the beach. Now, they don't have seagulls in Hawaii, but when you go to the beach around in the States, the lower states, they do have seagulls. And I love watching these seagulls. And I have actually seen seagulls eating French fries. If you haven't seen it, it's a hoot to watch these seagulls. I've seen them, you know, people will drop the French fries in a trash bin, and the seagulls will go to the trash bin and start diving for the French fries as well. And then the last card that we're going to make. And what I wanted to share with you is that we are going to be utilizing, the Floral and Gingham Vellum DSP for some of these cards. And this is a specialty paper. It is a vellum. And so I wanted to pull this out so you can see how thin this paper is. But it makes for such a nice addition when you're creating your cards. And I'm stamping the seagulls, but I'm not doing a lot of stamping otherwise. So I'm utilizing my cardstock and my vellum to make the cards pop, if you will. So the first one I want to start with is this card. And I've got a piece of what color is this? It's just totally, I've totally lost it. I'm trying to see what color it is, and I can't think of what it is right now, but a blue. I think my vacation brain is still with me. But we've got the blue, and then I've also had a second piece of cardstock that I've embossed with our wave folder. And again, my wave folder isn't here either. So I have everything else, I think, but we've got the wave folder. And what we're going to do is we're going to get started by prepping our cardstock. And what I mean by that is you can see that there are some splatters on here. So I'm going to take the light Night of Navy Stampin' Blend. And if you use the brush tip on this, and I'm working on my glass mat, so I don't have to worry, I can just clean this up as soon as I'm done. But if you use the brush tip and your cap, you can actually do flicking with your ink. So I'm just flicking the ink all around. You can see how that works. So we've got that. Cool technique. And then I'm going to also do it on the front of my card. So I'm going to do some more flicking here that you can see, and then we'll get this cleaned up so we can start creating the rest of the card. But how fun is that? And it just adds just a nice little technique. So I'm going to take a paper towel. I'm just going to clean out the inside of my cap, and then we can go ahead and replace that, and we're ready to go. All right, let me go ahead and get this cleaned off, and I'm actually going to use my chamois to help me get this cleaned off. And you'll see it should come off if you get it wiped off fairly quickly. If you don't get it wiped off fairly quickly, what you can do, and I keep a bottle of rubbing alcohol here at my station, and you can just, because these are alcohol inks, you can actually add alcohol to your glass mat, and it will clean it up that way as well. So if it happens to dry, just pull out your rubbing alcohol and you can get that all cleaned up. All right, so let me put this off to the side. And now what we're going to do is we are going to take a piece of basic white cardstock that I have already die cut with the perennial postage dies. So I've already gone ahead and done that. And we are going to stamp our seagulls. And while I'm doing that, if you happen to be joining me live tonight, please do say hello. I love to know who's joining me and where you're from. So please do say hello. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to type in questions. I'll try to remember to look up so that I can see if there are any questions, so I can get those answered for you. So I'm going to, these are photopolymer stamps, so I am going to utilize my Stampin' Pierce mat, and I'm going to pull in 2 of my seagulls. I've got this one, and I've got the one that looks like he's doing a lot of chatting. So I'm going to go ahead and get this inked up. Obviously, we're going to be doing some coloring. I'm going to pull this down just a little bit so I have a better view of what I'm doing, but we're going to be doing some coloring because these are just outline stamps. So we've got that one. I'll clean it up in just a second. Let's get our second seagull stamped. Make sure I've got plenty here, and I'm going to put him right here. I think he's giving this one what for, it looks like. So let me clean these off. And I'm going to color them, but before I do, I want to get the rest of my stamping done. So the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to stamp, and I'm going to pull out my little black label that I've already cut here with my, let me see if I can show you which dies these are. They're from my Stylish Shape dies. These are a staple in my studio, but it's one of the Stylish Shape dies. Okay, and we are going to actually emboss. Since this is black, I need to emboss. I'm going to bring out my embossing tray that's got all the things in it that I need. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my embossing buddy. And basically the embossing buddy, I can wipe this off with a wet rag after I'm done, because this is it's got powder in it, so it's going to kind of dull up the black a little bit. But basically what that's doing is it's getting any inks, not inks, but oils and things that were on my hand. It's getting those off. And then what I can do is I can take my Versamark ink, and we are going to say, hey, friend. So let me find my Hey Friend stamp. I've got that right here. We'll go ahead and get that inked up. And I'm going to see if I can get it centered here. I don't want to get my head in the way, but I might. Okay, Hey Friend, right here. There we go. It's a little off. It's a little crooked, but it's okay. It's a handmade card, and handmade cards are not necessarily perfect. If I wanted to, I could turn it over. I'm not going to, just because when you die cut, you've got these little pin dots here. If you turn it over this way, they don't show up as well. There's definitely, for these die cuts, there's a front and a back. So a little crooked, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to take my white embossing powder. I'm just going to put it over the top. There we go. Maybe a little bit more on this D, perhaps. There we go. So we've got that ready. I'm going to close this up, We're going to use this again shortly. I'm going to bring out my heat tool. Get it warmed up. It's going to be a little loud for just a second. And I'm going to use my tweezers to hang on to this. And then we'll go ahead and we'll melt this embossing powder. You don't have to hold it on there very long. You just want to watch it turn. And as soon as you see it turn, which it has, then we can turn it off. So it doesn't take very long at all. And then if I want to, I can take, let me see, I've got my chamois here. I'll just take my chamois to show you, because I just wet this up. I'm going to take it and very lightly just brush over the top of this, and so it kind of washes away that powder. Okay, so now it's nice and black. All right, so let's go ahead now, and we've got all of our stamping done. I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to bring in some of my Stampin' Blends, and we're going to use black. Let me see, this is Smoky Slate. This is light basic black, and I need, I'm going to use light peach for their beaks and their feet. And let's see, I've got another, I think I can go with this. So I'm going to start with the lighter of the colors. This is the light Smoky Slate. I like using the bullet tips. And I'm just going to go ahead and get this colored in quick. Won't take very long. It was kind of a shock coming back to Kansas, because it was obviously nice and warm in Hawaii, and I got back to Kansas and it was cold. It was quite cold. So we did have a really nice day yesterday, but it started cooling off again today. So I do miss that warmer weather, of course. But Kansas is home, and as much as I loved Hawaii, I missed my family and my dog, and I'm glad to be back with all of them. We go to Hawaii on basically every year. We have a timeshare there, and so we love it there. And you know, a lot of times people will invest in a timeshare, and then they'll go different places. We have done that, but I would say for the most part, we always go back to our unit in Hawaii because we love it so much. And then what we do while we're there is we just extend our trip, and we will visit some of the other islands. So this trip, we were on Kauai, which is where our property is. And then we also went over to the Big Island. So I'm gonna use this to kind of give some footing, some area for them to stand on. And I just happen to have the Smoky Slate, so that's what I'm gonna use. And it's not, there's no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing. I just want to give them basically something that they're standing on. All right, let me bring this over just so that it kind of, there we go. All right, so those guys are done. So now what we can do is we can work on this piece. This is 4.5 by, and in the to-go class, you'll get a tutorial, and it will give you all the dimensions. So I don't typically go through the dimensions, but I am going to be cutting this. So it's 3.5 by 4.5. So I'm going to cut these by 1.5 so that I can layer them. So I'm going to do 1.5 here, and then I'm going to do another 1.5. Okay, so I've got those. Did I get that? Yes, I did. All right, so I've got those. Now what I'll do is I'll bring this back in, and I'm just going to use glue to glue these down. And they're not going to be straight. They're going to be kind of whimsical, so I'm going to angle them a bit. So we'll go ahead and get this one down, and I'm going to put it probably right about here. And then I think I'll do the same thing with this one, and then I'm going to layer the other one on top. So we'll get this one down. And we'll do it about right here, I think. And then we're going to take this one and layer it the opposite way. So we'll go this way with it. Okay. So we've got that. Now what we'll do is we will put dimensionals behind our seagulls. Oh, I've got my dimensionals going here. Remind me, if you got a comment, but remind me at the end of this, I've got a few extra cards that were made with the friendly seagulls that are just darling. So I want to share those with you. And I hope I don't forget. So if I start to close and I haven't shared those with you yet, please say something so that I can get those shared with you. Okay, we're going to take some of the baker's twine and we're going to use that same blue, and I'm going to tie a bow here. Okay. And then I'm going to take my ribbon snips here. And we'll just go ahead and cut that off. Get that out of the way. I'm going to take a glue dot and I'm going to put the little glue dot down right. It's being difficult, doesn't want to come off. I'm going to put it right down here in the corner. And then I can take my knot. Let's see, let's turn it this way. See if that works. And we'll go ahead and press that down. So we've got our ribbon here. And then I can take my, and I might make that a little bit bigger. My bow just a little bit bigger, and I can still do that. So let me kind of pull on this a little bit and make it a little bit bigger, and this one a little bit bigger. Just because I'm going to put my label over the top of it. And I'm going to actually put the label on with dimensionals as well. So I'm going to, maybe I won't do dimensionals on this side, but I will on this end. So let me pull a dimensional off right here for this end, and then I'll just put a little glue here on that. And then I'm just going to angle it right about here. I'm guessing I don't want to cover his feet up, so I got to get my bow to kind of come down a little bit. All right, there we go. There we go. Okay, last thing we're going to do is I have a pack of these adhesive backed heart sequins. So let's go ahead and take a few of these and dress this up with the heart sequins, and then this card will be done. So I'm going to put a little heart here, and let me see. I'm looking at my sizes. Yeah, I have a medium. So I'm going to put one here, and then I'll take a larger one down here. Whoop. You have to decide. That was a runaway heart. There we go. You have to decide how you're going to grab them. Are you going to grab them with the pointy part of the take your pick or the putty part of the pick? The putty part of the take your pick. They both work, but sometimes, especially with these brass ones, I feel like the putty kind of, I don't know, doesn't scratch it, but puts a little putty on it. All right, so here's card number 1. Isn't that cute? Look at these guys. So cute. All right, let's move on to card number 2. I'm going to move these things out of the way. And this is card number 2. Okay, so the kit for card number 2 includes, wrong kit, this kit. Okay, so we've got basic white. Remember, we're using that vellum. Isn't that pretty? Then I've got a piece of crumb cake that was, again, cut with the perennial postage dies. And then I've got a piece of the blue. I'm just going to look here for just a second. Does this tell me anything? No. So we've got some blue here that I have actually run through the Dashing Designs 3D embossing folder. I don't know if you can see the designs on this or not, but you can on the piece that's been embossed. So we've got that piece, then we've got a label that we've die cut, and then I've got two little scraps of paper that we're going to make banners out of that are going to hold our sentiments. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp our seagull. Okay. And I'm going to bring back in my Stampin' Pierce mat. And this seagull actually likes French fries. So I'm going to bring in the French fry seagull. And we'll get him stamped. And I'm going to do him probably right about here. There we go. And then let me go ahead and clean this off real quick while I've got this open. So we've got him cleaned up. And then I've got a little bitty stamp of French fries. So we're going to actually stamp some French fries because he's chowing down. So I'm going to put the French fries right about here. Okay, get that cleaned off. Close this up and let's go ahead and do some more coloring. Well, actually, I'm going to save my coloring till last. Let's go ahead and get these stamped. So we're going to stamp I love you more, let me see, than French fries. So I'm going to do the I love you more on the white. And let's see. Go ahead and I'm going to bring this down so that I can see and try to make it straight. I'm going to make a banner out of this. Hopefully you guys can see. My head's not in the way. So I love you more than, and I'm going to clean this up, and then we're going to do French fries. Okay. Let's get our French fries. Hopefully that's going to stamp okay. I'm going to stamp it about right here. There we go. Little dark. I'm going to turn this one over. There are two sides. This one, there's no reason why I can't turn this over, but it looks like I had a lot of extra ink on that one end, so I'm going to attempt to maybe not get it quite so inky on that end and try again. And then I can pick which one I want. All right, I think that one looks better. See how that one was just a little, I don't know if you can tell, how it's kind of muddied. This one's a lot more, precise, clean, if you will. All right, so let's go ahead, get this closed up. And while I'm working with these, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait just a second to see how they, because I don't want to cut off too much. So we're going to bring this back in. And we're going to go ahead and color these guys up again. And let me see. Here's my peach. So I'm going to go ahead and do his little beak and his little feet. And then I have some yellow. And we are going to, this is actually Dark Daffodil Delight. And I'm looking for my bullet point. That's why I'm kind of twisting it around. I'm going to very carefully color in these French fries. I don't want to go outside the lines. And then I've got a whole box here for him. So we'll go ahead and get that done. Okay. And then I've got red for the box. I'm going to try to avoid the hamburger. I know a hamburger's not white, but a hamburger's not red either. And I don't have a hamburger color over here. I don't know. I mean, I think about like McDonald's, and I don't think their French fry boxes are specific to the colors of the actual hamburger with the lettuce and everything that's on it. So I'm just going to do it like that. All right, I'm looking for my black, which actually kind of looks like blue, doesn't it? But it is not. It is black. So we're going to go ahead and do the tips of his wings in the black. I'm just going to very gently do that because I don't want it to bleed out. And that's his tail, so I'm not going to do his tail. So we're just going to do the tips of his wings. So while I'm coloring, while we were in Hawaii, we had a winter storm. Now, I know winter storms here in Kansas, you know, people are like, oh my gosh, it's a winter storm, and, you know, we're going to get tons of snow. Well, obviously, when you're in Hawaii, you don't get tons of snow. Although I will tell you that this winter storm did bring snow to the top of Mauna Kea, which is one of the volcanoes on the Big Island. And there was snow at the top of Mauna Kea. But where we were at, there was no snow. It just was rain and wind. And mostly wind. I mean, we did have some torrential rain, but it wasn't a lot. But we did lose power, and the power was out for 34-ish hours, a long time. So we had candles and flashlights. Our caretaker brought candles and flashlights, and we played cards all night by the light of the candles. And actually, it was a lot of fun. I kind of looked at it as an adventure. But we had basically 2 days of no power. And my husband would go out and sit in the car and run the car so he could charge the phone, because we didn't want to be without a phone. But if you use it any, you know, obviously it drains the power. And so we had the car that we could charge the phone with. But it was an interesting couple of days. And this happened the last 2 days that we had on the island. So I've been through rain and wind before in Hawaii, but they were making a big deal about this particular winter storm because it hit all of the islands. It started at Kauai, and Kauai is the oldest of the islands, and so it started at Kauai, went to Maui, went to Oahu, then went to Maui, and last but not least was at hit the Big Island. The Big Island being the newest of the main islands. So that was kind of a fun thing. We've been going to Hawaii for, I don't know, probably 15 years or more. So first time I've ever been, not necessarily in the rain and wind, but power outage. So that was kind of a fun adventure. All right, what I'm doing is I am putting the backing or the dimensionals on the back of my crumb cake, and I'm actually going to adhere it to my vellum. And the reason I'm going to do that is because, remember, vellum is a see-through material, and so when you go to adhere something to vellum, or when you go to adhere the vellum to your cardstock, you've got to be careful about where you're placing your adhesive so that your adhesive doesn't show through. So if I put this piece down first, and I'm going to kind of just put it at an angle. So if I put this piece down first, then I have these places here that I can put the glue on so that it doesn't show through the vellum. And actually I could put it probably anywhere here, but since I didn't know where, I couldn't put the vellum down first because I wouldn't have had any visual as to where I could put the adhesive. So now I can go ahead and put this down. You're not going to see any from the front. And we'll go ahead and get this lined up. Make sure I've got this centered where I want it. I can slide this around a little bit. There. So now we've got this piece down. Now what I want to do is I'm going to put my seagull down, and let me go ahead and put some dimensionals on it. And I think we'll put one just right in the middle, basically. So 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to take the backs off of this. And then what I can do is I can fit my sentiments the way that I want it. So I'm going to angle this a bit and get that down. And then this is going to tuck in, and this is going to tuck in. Now, what I did is I stamped more to this end, and I want to tuck that in. So I don't have a lot of wiggle room to tuck that in, but I do have more than enough on this end. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that off there. And then when you're making your banners, go ahead and cut in the middle, and then take, oh, I'm using the wrong scissors. Ooh, those are my ribbon snips. And when you cut paper with ribbon snips, or when you cut paper, period, with your snips, cutting paper will dull your snips. So, and then it makes it very difficult to cut your ribbon. So basically I have 2 sets of snips. I have my paper snips and I have my ribbon snips. And I have a ribbon on my ribbon snips so that I don't forget that they're my ribbon snips. But sometimes I'm not paying attention and I accidentally pick them up. But at least I figured it out sooner than later. All right, so I'm making a banner out of this one as well. Cut in the middle, and then you cut down each side. And then I'm going to go ahead and put glue on the back of this. And we will get this banner down. And again, I didn't leave a whole heck of a lot of room, but that's okay. It's still going to work. So we've got it here. I love you more than French fries. And I actually put the French fries down first and put that other banner over it, but we're going to do it the opposite way. So it seems like when I make cards, I never make them the same way twice. I just don't. And I'm going to try to tuck that in as much as I can because I don't want it to extend off of my layer. Okay, so we've got that. And then I am going to bring out my hearts again. And let's go ahead and put some more hearts down. And I'm going to actually use my pick because the putty end just kind of leaves a mark on them, I feel. It doesn't do it to all of them, but because this is a brass embellishment, I just feel like it does. So let's go ahead and put our hearts here and here. And then I'm going to put another heart over here. Whoops. Grab it and put it down. And then I'll take a smaller one. And I'm going to put it here. And we now have card number 2 complete. Isn't he cute? He loves French fries. And he loves you more than French fries. So that's nice. All right. So that's card number 2. We're going to bring in card number 3. And card number 3 is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to show you the technique that I used for the frame. So you can see there's some embossing here. And then we have a frame. And then we've got our seagulls. And they're standing on some piers. I'm going to call them piers. So let's go ahead. And we've got a number of pieces that we've got to prep before we can start putting this together. So we have basic white. We have another piece of basic white that we're going to use for the frame. I have a scrap of basic white that we're going to use for our seagulls. And then I've got some different browns. I've got early espresso and pecan pie. And then I've got a piece of fleur de flamingo heart that I die cut ahead of time. And what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and stamp hello and get hello embossed. So I'm going to bring this back with my embossing items. And we're going to do the same thing that we did before. It's going to be quick. I'm just going to make sure that I don't have any oils on this heart. And then I am using the hello from the Unbound Love stamp set. I love the sentiment stamp sets because you can use them across all of your cards, but I needed a little hello to fit into that heart. So that's what I've chosen to do. And I've got it out on a block. So let's go ahead and get the Versamark out. And I'm going to try to avoid getting any more fingerprints on this. Get my hello stamped down. Okay, that looks good. And then we will, I'm going to clean it real quick. Just a habit I get into. Clean my stamps right away because otherwise I end up getting my fingers in them. And then I'm going to use my tweezers again to hold this, and we can go ahead and put the embossing powder over the top. Make sure I get a good coating of it. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to heat up my embossing gun really quickly and get this embossed. Go. I don't know if you guys saw it turn or not, but that's my favorite part. I love watching it go from powder to the embossed. All right, so I'm going to move this out of the way. And now I need to stamp my seagulls, and I'm going to actually stamp the same seagulls that we did the last time. One of them is, I feel like it's really giving the other one what for, but let's go ahead and get these stamped with my Memento Black. Get stuff out of the way. All right. So we have the seagull. And basically what we're going to do is we are going to fussy cut these seagulls after we get done stamping them, or coloring them, I should say. All right. So we've got the two seagulls. Let's clean these off real quick. That one, this one, and I'm using the exact same colors that I was using before. All my seagulls look the same. I don't really know what seagulls are supposed to look like when you color them, but this works for me. So let me go ahead and get their beaks and their feet. That, and then this black will do for the tips of their wings. Don't forget to remind me to share those other cards with you. These cards are cute, but I've got other cute cards too. For a free stamp set, I've had so much fun with this. I don't think seagulls were on my radar, but when I started playing with them, I'm just like, they are so darn cute. And this card's really fun. You'll see. All right, so we're going to get these guys colored up. I'm using light and dark smoky slate. I prefer to color with the bullet tip. Okay. There we go. Got them colored. Now, surprise, surprise. I didn't want to put you guys through having to watch me fussy cut them, especially their little legs, because I did fussy cut their little legs. So, I went all the way up to the part where we fussy cut, and then I went ahead and cheated and got those done ahead of time, so we don't have to worry about those. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to start creating the rest of this card. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually do some embossing. So the front of the card is actually embossed, and it's embossed at 1/2 inch. I'm going to get my ruler just so that I can remember. I'm pretty sure it's 1/2 inch, but I'm going to double check. So I'm going to bring my ruler in, and Absolutely, it's a 1/2 inch. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to bring this in, get this out of the way, and we're going to start at 1/2 inch. Let me get it lined up correctly. And then we're going to start scoring. So 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inches, all the way up to the top. 2. If you have a scoring board, you could do it on a scoring board. I didn't bring my scoring board over. My trimmer does just fine with the scoring for this project, so you can use either your trimmer if your trimmer has a score tool on it, or you can use your scoring board. So almost there. 5, and then 5.5 is the fold line. Okay, so now we have this all embossed. I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you see? How do I get the... I'm looking to see if I can help you guys to see that it's been embossed. Maybe if you do it from this side, you can see it. No? Isn't that crazy? Why isn't... Maybe you guys can see it and I just can't see it in the camera. There it is. There's a little bit. It's a nice little technique. And it adds just some interest to the card. Okay, next thing, we're going to bring this piece out. Now this piece is going to be our frame. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our trimmer again, and we are actually going to trim a 1/2 inch in on each side. So along here, you have your ruler, okay? And then, of course, we've got our ruler here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in at a 1/2 inch. Then I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to line up the line on my trimmer, and I'm going to have to turn this just a little bit so I can see. But there's a line. Let me see. Let's see if I can share it with you guys a little bit better. On your blades, of course I'm gonna, oh, come on out. On your blades, there, let me see. Okay. There you go. Can you see that line right there? It's on both sides. Anyway, there's a line there. And I'm going to put this back in, and I'm going to line that line up. How many times can I say line? With the 1/2 inch mark on my trimmer. So I'm going to bring this down to where the 1/2 inch mark is. I've got it set at a 1/2 inch, and I'm going to start cutting from that point. Now I got to look here. Where am I going to stop? This, I need to stop at about a 1/2 inch from this as well. So I think what I'm going to do to start is I'm just going to come down to what I think might be about a 1/2 inch. I'm looking at this and it's not quite a full inch. I think this sheet of paper is, what, 5 1/4. So no worries. I'm going to go ahead and we'll connect the dots here in just a second. I'm going to put this at a 1/2 inch again and bring this up to a 1/2 inch. You guys will have an easier time of it because you won't be training when you do this. But you can see now that there's a little bit of a space here. So what I can do is I can go ahead and get this lined up again, put this back down, and take it down to where the line here lines up with the line that I just cut. And if I do that, and I went a little bit too far, but if I do that, that starts to work for you. So let me go ahead and get this one done. And maybe if I do it from this end so it's not so far away from me, that might help as well. So I'm going to do a 1/2 inch here. I'm just double checking all my numbers here. I've got a line here so I can line it up there. I'm going to come down here, and then I'm going to turn this to a 1/2 inch. And I have a line here. And I'm going to come down to this one. And these should meet. Then all I have to do is fix. I don't think I did it quite an inch and a half. All right, well, I got a little bit off, but you guys get the idea. I did much better on my demo card to you, and I'm just going to fix these up right here. So I think what I'm going to do, it's not going to be exact, but I've got my center out. Oops, let me trim it up. It's still tugging at me for a little bit. Oh, got my center out. Okay, so I'm going to put the majority of it at the bottom. And I'm going to bring this back in. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to put dimensionals behind this and get that adhered. Let me go ahead and get this flattened out. And I'm going to put the dimensionals on this side. And I've actually got some dimensionals that I've used up, and I don't want to waste these little strips. So I'm actually going to cut these strips like so. And then I can do them along the sides here. And that will help with popping up that frame. So we'll do another one here. Put it right here. Don't waste your dimensionals. Every ounce of these dimensionals can be used. You just kind of have to hang on to them until you're ready to use them. So I'm going to go ahead and get this down. And then I have one more, and I think I can probably use a little bit of this. And there's another little piece here. I might put that over here, though. Here's some more. Let me see. Cut it here and cut it here. Oop, I guess I don't need it that big. It's okay, we'll fix it. So I'm gonna put this over here. All right. There we go. Do I need a little bit right there? I think I am. I'll put another little piece right here. Just so that I've got good support behind my frame. And that one kind of is peeking out a little bit, so I'm going to trim that off. Okay, so now what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to put, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my frame down, and then I'll start adhering my posts behind the frame. Or perhaps what I do is I go ahead and put them down. I'm going to trim these up. I'm kind of thinking out loud here, guys. I'm going to angle this one, and I'm going to angle this one. And then this one will get turned, and maybe it'll go this way and this way. And then here's a big one. It's going to get angled as well, because we have to have something for these seagulls to perch on. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and adhere these together. I'm going to lay this one down this way. And then we'll put this one on top. And I'm just doing the one side of it. And then we'll put this one here. And then I've got a little bit more to work with when I go to put this down, because I want to put it down inside of this. And I'm looking to see, I put my dimensionals up a little high. So I want to make sure when I put this down that I'm able to get my piers in. I'm going to call them piers. All right, so let me go ahead and get these down. You guys can do whatever works best for you. I am certain that this is not how I did it last time, but you know, it just depends, you know, as you're working, what is going to work best for you. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tuck these under and get that down so that all works. So now those are down. And actually what was interesting is they actually lined up with this bottom line. So if you're making these on your own, just line them up with that bottom score line and you'll have it made. So let me get the backs of these dimensionals off. And we'll go ahead and get our frame down. And then we can get the rest of our seagulls down. All right, I think I got it. Now I'm going to try to get this lined up the way that I need to. I think that's over just a little bit too far. So remember, and I'm going to do this now because you can see what's happening. These dimensionals are sticky, and I want to make sure that my border is going to work for me, and I'm not going to have too much on one side and not enough on the other side. So I put glue on the back of my dimensionals, not because it's not sticky, it's plenty sticky. It's because I want some flexibility to move things around. So let me close that up. My battery, even though my iPad is plugged in, my iPad's saying that my battery is low. But that's okay because I'm videoing on my phone. So, and my phone was fully charged. So I may lose you on my iPad, but all right, I think that's a little crooked here, but I have a little bit more flexibility because I have glue on the back, which is amazing. All right, so now we've got our frame down, okay? So let's go ahead and we're gonna put some dimensionals behind our seagulls. And I think I'm just gonna need a couple. I got a nice little mess going on here. So let's put one, we're gonna do two. We're gonna do one here and one here. And then does this one need two? Do one here and one here. Okay, so this little guy is gonna go on this pier. And you can see I took great care cutting out his little feet. So I'm gonna put him about right here. He's popped up. And then this little guy, no telling what he's saying, but he's squawking, really squawking. I'm gonna put him up here. Okay, so maybe right about here, okay? And then we're gonna do a dimensional on the back of our heart. And we're gonna do a couple on the back of the heart. And we'll get that down, and then we're gonna take some linen thread and we're gonna finish it off. So we'll put the hello right here. That looks good. And then let me see, I'm gonna bring back in that baker's twine, and we're gonna just tie a quick little bow with the flirty flamingo. So I'm gonna make it smaller. There we go. Get it untwisted. It likes to twist when I, let's see, make that a little bit smaller. This one a little bit smaller. It's not a very big heart, so I don't want to go too big. All right, bring back the ribbon snips because they're just going to snip this right off very easily. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring in my glue dot. And we're going to make like a little ball with my glue dot. Where's my take your pick? Just a little bit of a ball with the glue dot. These glue dots are just a little older, and they want to stick a little bit more, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my little dot right here, and then I'll take the knot of your bow and place it right on top of that glue dot. I'm going to twist it. There we go. There we go. And now we have our third card completed. So let me bring these back out. I haven't forgotten. I'm going to show you some others. Let me bring these back out to review really quickly. And I'm doing that because you, in your to-go kit that you will get for free when you place a qualifying order of $45 before tax and shipping, you will get enough of the supplies to create 2 of each card. You'll have enough supplies to create 2 of each card. You'll have to have the stamp set, of course, but everything else you'll get. So, with the exception of the dimensionals, but you can do whatever dimensionals you want to do. So, are those cute? Those are the friendly Seagulls, and I want to show you some other cards. I was participating in a swap, a card swap with a group, and this was the card that I had made for the card swap. So had fun with that. Love that wavy embossing folder. Here's another one that was made by Sharon Rogers. She used the waving embossing folder, then she used the crumb cake cardstock, stamped the seashells, and we've got the squawking seagull, the big mouth seagull. This one is Kate Foma. Sorry, Kate, not saying that right. But she's got the French fry seagull, and she's got some hey friends, and these are little fish that she did. And then this one is Veronica Brown, and she also enjoyed the French fry seagull as well. And hey friend, I love you more than French fries. So those are the cards for tonight. I'm going to come back and say hello again before I leave. Thank you for joining me. It feels so good to be back with you guys. Special note, this is my last Thursday Night Live for Thursday Night Live going forward. I'm still doing Facebook Lives, but I'm not going to do them on Thursday nights anymore. I'm switching actually to Tuesdays at 2 o'clock. Now that I'm retired, I would prefer to do my lives during the day, especially since there's a lot of stuff, it seems, that's going on Thursday evenings, and I find myself having to record more and more, and I really want to be with you guys. So if you can join me on Tuesdays at 2 o'clock, that's great. Please do. If you can't, no worries. I still will be uploading these videos onto YouTube. So if you miss me on Facebook, you can go to my April Davis Creations on Facebook. But if you miss me on Facebook, you can always go to YouTube to enjoy the videos as well. We've got some fun stuff coming up. I'm so excited. I'm having so fun playing with all of these. And the friendly seagulls were just the tip of the iceberg. So that being said, thank you again for joining me tonight. Don't forget, you need to place your order by Sunday, and I'll get your kits shipped to you on Monday. And if not, I will see you actually again next Tuesday live. Thanks again, everyone. Bye.